In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to give with a little overview of Lex using the Amazon console. Remember, we had discussed all characteristics of Lex, or gave an overview of a PowerPoint presentation with Lex, and now we're going to look at a demo, a small demo. Once again, my name is Steve Bonacondri. I work for Home Task AI, and so let's dive into it. Let's go to the Amazon console. So this is the Amazon console. And what I'm going to do is I could search for Lex, but what I'm going to do is go down here uh, and look at, here's Amazon Lex. Uh, and I could go to that, but I just want to point out all the um, uh, machine learning, machine learning stuff that's available. What I've been doing these days is keeping Amazon Q, Amazon Bedrock uh, is fascinating. Um, and all of these things like transcribe, comprehend, these are all very valuable in Poly. And since we're giving a presentation on really a tutorial on Amazon Connect, you can imagine a lot of this stuff being used. But what I decided to do is go over Poly, transcribe, comprehend, and now we're looking at Lex because those play a big role in Amazon Connect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Amazon Lex console. And the first thing you see here is this paragraph here, which is very interesting. Uh, I'm going to say it's relatively new because when I was building Lex bots last year, this wasn't integrated. So now now you have generative AI features in Bedrock, Amazon Bedrock, and I'll discuss a little bit about that. But to make a long story short, you can take PDF documents, put them on S3 bucket, and you could, when a customer is asking questions, you can get answers, self-service answers, using that data using generative AI. So loosely speaking, I'll show you some of that later. Very good stuff, though. This is one of those things that's extremely powerful and easy to set up. So that's one thing I want to point out. Okay, so now I look at my Lexbots, and so I came here to create a Lexbot, but now I realize I have one I already created. So what I want to do is I want to just show you what I did here, and maybe in a different video we can create a different Lexbot. But the goal is to show you how to use Lex in the console, and I'm just going to quickly demonstrate some capabilities. So this is something I created called Home Task Chat. So now my main goal is to create a chatbot, and then where am I going to use this chatbot? In my website, I could create a widget and put it in my React code and actually have the users interact with it. So yeah, very very quickly, if I go to Home Task IO, what you'll see is see this little chat window down in the bottom here. When the user clicks on it, the goal is to have some sort of chatbot here. And so that's what I'm doing really. I have I think this particular chatbot is on it's on one of my Amazon accounts, and I'm pointing to a chatbot I think which is on that particular account. And I do have a call center, Amazon Connect contact center set up, and this is communicating with that. When I start a call, I could call that call center. Uh, so I will probably have to figure out what I'm going to do with this, but this is not. This is what it looks like, um, and and um, and the goal. That's the goal. To show the user a chat window to get help for your company. So I call this thing Home Task Chat, and I'm going to go in it. Notice when I click on it, I get this information about uh, different information about the bot. Uh, Notice there's bot details, and a bot has an ID. So keep in mind this ID implicitly is used and it's to identify the particular bot. And when you're doing automation, this ID comes in. It's kind of critical. Okay, and we have languages. I'm just supporting English. And then we have versions. I got two aliases, and I have some analysis tools I could use. If I go into them, let's see my CloudWatch metrics. It might tell me something, re number of requests, latencies, etc. And like I said, there's a lot to see here. And when you do automation, it's even much more complex because you need to understand what you're doing there. And this is an overview. If I see the overview, I see the number of conversations, utterances detected, and this is a bot that I just created. I don't, they probably just used it once or twice, but the bottom line is the intent name is called Get Help, and it's not very helpful, but it does give the customer a call back once they tell the company what they need. Okay, so just quickly go through some other ones. Let's see. This is a conversation dashboard. It was one conversation in this time frame, I guess. But there's going to be in a real contact center, there's going to be a lot of chat. So just keep that in mind. I just want to see the last one. Some of this stuff is not, like I said, it's useful, but you've got to get the bot working with a lot of folks on it before you really find some use for it. So there's an intent name, nothing too complicated. This is the simplest chat I could think of. So what we do is we look at the left-hand side. I'm really in this chat bot, and I notice there's a couple of things here, right? I've got intents and slots. So I do have a draft version, so I could version alias this thing. Uh, keep in mind that the the chatbot is communicating with a particular version. And aliasing is good because you could change the version, you could point to the alias and change the version, etc. But let me just show you the guts of what we're talking about here. So here's two intents. So what you do when you have a LexBot, you define an intent. And so I did the simplest possible thing I could do because this is a production account. I don't really have, I don't know what I have in this production account, but I'm using a different account. So I created this get help intent. Now, if the intent is not recognized as a fallback intent, so if the chatbot is saying, "What do you need?" and it can't understand it, there is a fallback intent when the other intents when the other intents do not match. So I'm going to go into this, and so you make sure that this works and this is configured properly. But let's go into this real quick, and this is the get help intent. Okay, so it looks a little bit intimidating at first, but this is sort of what I'm trying to do. I need home services. This shows you a conversation flow. I need home services. Okay, I can help you with that. This is an automated response. This is a self-service chat. Automated response. What is your first name? And then the customer responds. What is your last name? The customer responds. What room are you trying to fix? I say kitchen. What is your phone number? I give you my phone number. Now, the user making a voice call, you don't need that. You can implicitly get that, but let's just move forward with this. Which state are you in? I'm in Connecticut. What service do you need for your home? I'm going to say a floor tiling. So what the Lexbot's doing is trying to find out what you want because I want to fulfill it, but in the home contracting business, it's a little bit complex, a little bit complicated. We will have a represent call you as soon as possible. Is this okay? You say yes. This confirms the intent. Thank you for the information. We started the process. Really, what I'm going to say is we'll have a customer agent. We'll have a sale. We'll have an agent call you, and then when the customer says yes, it's okay. We'll have a customer call you. But this is sort of showing you an example of what can happen here. So here's my intent details. My intent details are get help for home services. And this could go a lot of different ways. And I did something very quick and sloppy, but this is the problem. The problem you're faced with is accuracy, performance, fulfilling, making money, doing good business. This gets complicated very quickly. Um, and all the examples you'll see is, oh, I want to buy an ice cream or I want to rent a car. Some of this stuff is very powerful. It's very simple. But when it comes to services, it gets a little bit more complicated because you're providing a service. Now, needless to say, remember, I'm providing home services, so it's sort of like you could ask for a driveway pavement. You could say I need a kitchen floor tiled. You could say I need a bathroom faucet fixed. There's just a wide variety of things that be done. So the problem is a little bit complex. And so the idea behind this is to get the right person to talk to you to get the service done. So that's what I'm looking at. So now here's some sample utterances. So the bottom line is the customer is going to make some statements, and the statement is going to try to zoom in on the intent. And my intent is get help. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, here's an intent. I need home services. Home services needed. I need help with my home. I need help. Uh, whatever the user says. If the user doesn't give you the prompt you need, you could basically ask them, are you looking for home services? Yes. So that's sample utterances that I'm using at the moment. And it's easy to test the sample utterance because you're just typing the phrase in, um, the intent in, but the users are capable of typing anything in. So just remember that. And that's the complexity of getting this done properly. So the initial response, let's see what the initial response is. Okay, I can help you with that. So as soon as the customer says, okay, I need home services, the Lexbot's going to respond with, okay, I can help you with that. And then what happens is you define these things called slots, and the slots are things that the Lexbot needs to fulfill your request. So in this case here, it's very general. I'm just saying, you need help. Okay, I'm going to have someone call you back, but let me get the facts. Let me find out more information. Um, so I have prompts here. I want your first name and last name. Um, what room are you trying to? Let's look at this prompt here. What room are you trying to fix? So this is important because we're trying to categorize here. We're zooming in on. I need help with my home. It's the kitchen. Great. That puts me zooms me into a scope of the kitchen. So anything can be done with a kitchen. You could paint it, you could wallpaper it, you can You could do different types of things. So this phrase here, what you're trying to fix, it is general enough. I think the user would be able to answer that. So you get in the answer. Okay. So this service here, let's see what this service says. What service do you need in your home? So depending on the order at which these show, I've already said kitchen. And then what service do you need? I need tiles. So maybe the conversation that's happening is trying to get more information. I'm now zoomed in on the tiles category. I could show you everything about kitchen tiles, so you could pick a tile. I mean, so I could create a knowledge base in Amazon. I mean, I could create a knowledge base by putting all information about kitchen tiles in PDF files and put it on an S3 bucket. And the customer can query, show me a list of the top 5 tiles that are used in the kitchen and ask questions. Is this tile waterproof, or is this tile unbreakable? Or whatever you need to know about the tile, what is the cost of the tile, you can get that information as long as you provide it in a knowledge base. So just keep that in mind. And that is the part of the Amazon Bedrock and knowledge bases that we were talking about before. But right now, let's keep it simple. Um, and so, like I said, the simplicity of this Lexbot is once I get the answers to all these questions, I'm going to fulfill the intent. So basically, it might not be exactly what the customer wants, but I'm going to call it a day and say, I'm going to have an agent call you back. So what I'm going to do is get your last name, your first name, room, is it the kitchen, what state, I'm in Connecticut, what service, tiles, and I'm going to have an agent call you back. I'm going to say, and here's a confirmation block. Here's a confirmation block. We will have a representative call you as soon as possible. Is this okay? You say yes, and the chat ends. And this fulfillment block happens. But here in the decline, if I say no, we will communicate with your email to service your needs. Now, at the moment, do I have the user's email? Maybe if they're existing customer, maybe not. So this decline response is just to get through the chat. You see my point that when you start testing this, you've got things to do. So on succeeding at the fulfillment, you say your request was succeeded successfully. Let me put another L in here. Um, in the case of failure, we say something went wrong. Now, error handling is part of this. You don't want to lose the customer. Um, so you have to decide what you want to do here. Okay, now the closing response. Thank you for contacting Home Task AI. Mm. Now this is a code hook. This is use Lambda function for initialization and validation. This is an interesting thing to hook in a Lambda function, and I was just thinking about doing that. I forgot the reason, but yeah, it depends on what you're doing, how you're doing it. But in reality, this is where you get your custom functionality. So if I wanted to get the user's phone number, um, or some information about the user, I might want to do that and display it in the interaction. I'm just going to save this intent. Now, let me just see what I have here as far as draft version. I do have a version 1, version 2. Um, and the version comes in when you deploy the widget, right? So uh, right now, let's just build this. I'm in the draft version. Just so you know, it's kind of interesting. Draft version is the latest version. It sort of gets used by default unless you point to a version. Um, and with lambdas, it's similar, but it's a little bit kind of confusing. This is the latest version of my Letspot. So if I'm changing it, I'm changing the draft version. When it works, after it works and everything, I could create a version 3 because this draft version is not version 1 or version 2. I just changed it. So let's test this thing and see what happens. I don't know why my window. I need home services. What is your first name? Steve. What is your last name? Bonacontre. What room are you trying to fix? Kitchen. What's your phone number? Now, a user might not feel comfortable with this, but from a technical perspective, we just want to make sure we redact any personal information. Now, I didn't ask the user's address, so but redacting PII information is an extremely important aspect of Amazon Connect. And so you'll see all different variations of that happening when you integrate with a user profile. What state are you in? What service do you need? And like I said, this is like just a quick little test, so I don't like seeing this at this point. Um, but it'll work. So I say tiles, and now it's going to say we'll have a representative call you as soon as possible. Is this okay? Yes. Okay. Thank you for contacting Home Test. Now what I'm thinking here is that this particular contact trace record, let's say, this JSON data associated with what transpired here um, is going to persist somewhere. Let's say now when the agent tries to call the user back, does he have the user's phone number? So this is where you have to make those decisions. In self-service, the user's not logged in. It might not be an existing user. And in this case here, we're trying to grab that user and get him or her into our database and call them an existing user. We want to do service with them. So it's in our benefit, in our advantage to get the customer information. Now that could come with registration, that could come in different forms. But right now, I'm at this point where I'm going to have, I should say here that someone will call you within 24 hours. But the bottom line is that, like I said, this is the simplest example I could do, and we're testing it, and we have it. Now, the next step is I want to make sure that this works on my website. So we'll go through another video and show you how to get this onto your website. And I might what I was thinking about is using this. I think this is deployed in what I call a development Amazon account. And this Lexbot, this widget Lexbot, I deployed it using that Amazon account. But what we'll do, and so this is hosted on one Amazon account. I think I'm going to have my production contact center be in the production account. So that's where I'm going with this. This particular Lexbot here is in um, development stage as well. But the bottom line is I have a telephone number associated with this contact center in this Amazon account. I have a chatbot, and now I'm thinking, well, and it's probably going to stay here. I will replace this chatbot. The chatbot and the Amazon Connect instance is on my development account. So this this particular Lexbot, I'm in a production account. My website's not there. Um, I do have an Amazon Connect instance that I created for the training purposes. And so keep in mind that I have a different Amazon Connect contact center in this production environment, different caller numbers, etc. And I'm just showing you some of this stuff. Okay, so anything else? Oh, let's just talk about the fallback intent for the moment. So when you look at the fallback intent, it's a default intent when no other intents match. So let's say the initial response. This is funny because what I did with this is that if the user's typing in stuff and it doesn't match one of my utterances, I actually tell the customer to say help with home service. I'm giving them some help to get started with the intent. So and then on successful fulfillment, there's a case here, but I didn't mess with that. Let's see, closing response. I didn't do anything with that yet either. So just keep in mind that this fallback intent you will have to fill in the form and deploy it. Uh, and this get help intent is far from over. You just got to make sure everything works. And like these utterances are pretty lame. But if someone comes to Home Task AI, they would say, they could say, I need help, or they could just type in help. So what you would do is add an intent there. Um, so here I could add an utterance, just a general help here. So now they could say one of these four intents. Um, and this is the problem with some of the self-service Lex. You've got to make sure that you're that the customers zoom in on the intent. And so this can get a little long, and this is why just one more word about this block here. But this is why Amazon Bedrock and generative AI is so important, because this new capability here, relatively new capability, allows me to put uh, documents for kitchen tiles and supplies and remodeling information on in PDF files on an S3 bucket, and allows Bedrock to use large language models and have a smooth conversation with the customer in a self-service way, where the customer could say, what kind of kitchen supplies do you sell? And I could give the customer can get a list because we have a file which has a list of all the kitchen supplies on S3 bucket. So this is the thing that's not okay. Here's an intent. Here's some slots, which is very precise. This is handling all the customer queries that are very general and very wide range. I want to look at kitchen tiles, and I want to look at dark tiles or white tiles, or can you show me what you have? Can you show me the sizes of the tiles, etc. So this is the thing that's extremely powerful and very very useful these days. But like I said, there's a wide variety in Amazon Connect contact center. There's a wide variety of things you might do. Um, and and like I said, some problem domains are more complicated than others. In healthcare, health insurance, dental insurance. I mean, just think about the complexity. Different lines of business, you name it. Um, when you're selling a product or renting a car, it might be relatively simple, but you can get it with a straightforward Lex. So anyway, keep that in mind that knowledge bases are extending the Lex functionality to make all the knowledge available, so the customer can talk in natural language to large language models in Bedrock and use our knowledge bases to supplement that and have smooth conversations between the customer and your company products, etc. Um, so just keep that in mind. Let's. I didn't go over these items here, but if we look at creating a network of bots, we'll do that in a different video. But it really is creating 2 or 3 bots that are here. Let me relate it to our problem domain. Uh, let's suppose I want some kitchen bots, right? Some of them which service kitchen supplies, some of them which service kitchen remodeling. I could categorize all those bots into category and deploy them as a whole and use them as we didn't talk about the test workbench, but that would get into a larger scale testing where you're using S3 buckets for test and results, etc. But anyway, let's move forward with other videos.